In this video, I'm going to be building a house in Minecraft, but with a twist. And that twist is that I am not going to be choosing the blocks that I use. Instead, I will be letting a block randomizer choose them for me. I'm going to be given one chance to get 10 different blocks that I then have to build a house out of. Arguably, the most important part of building in Minecraft is the blocks that you use, so this should be pretty interesting. This really could go one of two ways, and it all comes down to the click of a mouse. To do this, I'm going to be using a website called Perchance. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. But basically, we can randomize all of the blocks in the game like this, unless they've been added after 1.16. So that does mean we're going to miss out on the chance to use some important blocks, but let's be honest, the chances of us getting them are pretty slim anyway. Something I quickly want to mention, and I wasn't sure whether to do this or not, but I think it's going to be really difficult if I don't, and that is when we roll something like this, dark oak wood planks, it's not just going to be the plank block that we can use, it's everything dark oak wood related. So we could use the trapdoors, we could use stairs, we could use fences, we can use the stripped variants, all of these we have access to. That's not to say we'll get any like that, but if we do, I'm going to give myself access to all variants of that block. Hopefully that makes sense. So without further ado, let's randomize 10 different Minecraft blocks and see what we get. And by the way, this is my first attempt. I have no idea how I'm meant to prove that to you, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Okay. Already, I'm not liking the look of this, but it's what we've been given. Okay, so we've got lime concrete, red glazed terracotta, glass, orange concrete powder, mossy stone bricks, light grey terracotta, oak wood. Okay, that's good. That's good. We got some oak wood in there. There's a lot of colours, isn't there? Continuing on with that, pink concrete powder, purple stained glass, and stripped birch wood. So we've got birch and oak, which I'm liking the look of. I'm also going to say we can use all of the mossy stone bricks, as we discussed. And then the rest is really just a lot of bright and vibrant colours, with the exception of glass here, which is going to come in handy for windows. Well, this should be interesting, because I honestly have no idea how I'm going to make this work. It's somehow too colourful, but also too dull at the same time. We have all of these concrete and terracotta blocks at the top, which are just really vibrant. But the main blocks down here, like the wood blocks that we have and the stone blocks, they're just very lackluster, and they don't really blend well if you mix in a bunch of bright colours, which is kind of what we're going to have to do. But I suppose that's all part of the challenge, isn't it? How do I even start this? What is the first block that I place down? I'm thinking maybe we could do some sort of mossy stone brick base outline. I would love to mix in some texture, but we can't do that because we didn't get given the blocks, so it's just going to have to be mossy stone bricks and nothing else. Or, alternatively, we could use the lime concrete and concrete powder for the base. As you can see, I've kind of laid out this very, very basic thing. Kind of blends a little bit with the grass, and maybe we could save the mossy stone bricks since we have the stairs for our roof, possibly. The bonus of using the concrete, though, is we do get the ability to add in a little bit of texture, which I honestly, in this circumstance, I don't know whether that's better or worse. I'm liking the look of the stripped logs here. We could do them as some sort of pillars. I just need to decide on which ones go better with our beautiful, you know what? Maybe invisible blocks would work best for this build. Can I switch out every block for an invisible block? That would be good. Nope, unfortunately, I think that goes against the rules. So, which is nicer? Can I say neither? Is neither an option? I don't think it is. Actually, I quite like the look of the oak logs with our lime blocks here. So we're just going to go with the regular oak logs as our corner pillars. By the way, this little circle over here is going to be some sort of tower. We'll probably work on that last and just kind of work around it for now. Okay, this is interesting to say the least. I don't know where we're going with this just yet, but I'm going to build the roof outline, I think, which should maybe be out of oak stairs. I think that's going to go best next to the oak logs, of course. Just a no-brainer, really. Okay, so far so good. It's basically just an oak house with a very bright bottom. But we continue. Something I should also mention is I'm going to try and use every single one of these blocks we were given, so somehow I'm going to have to incorporate red glazed terracotta. Maybe to make a little bit of a transition between the concrete and the wood, we could do some trapdoors on the corners like that. Maybe that's helping. I don't think it's making it worse, so yeah, let's do that. And you know what? For the base of the tower, I'm going to use the mossy blocks. I know I said I was going to use this in the actual roof, and we still are, but I want to be able to use the wall blocks, which we don't really have for any of the others that we're able to use. Can we get away with that? I don't know if we can, honestly. I'll leave it for now, but there's a good chance I'm going to get rid of it. We're not done, by the way. This is not the size of the tower. We're going up still. I forgot how hard birch is to use. This is really not my favorite block. I admire people who can use this really easily because I can't. There's just something about that color. I just can't work with it. So I think I'm actually going to save the birch for maybe a less frequently used block, maybe in the walls somehow. I know that's kind of silly considering how many options we actually have for it, how many variants, but that's going to come in handy because we can use all of the variants on the details and stuff like that. I'm beginning to think the tower was a bad idea. I've got to this point and I just can't think what to add on top of it. I keep wanting to pause and scroll through the blocks here and see what options I have, but nope, not allowed. So at this point, I've resorted to a pink tower. We have to use the pink at some point, so why not make ourselves a pink tower and kind of hide it around the back of the build for the most part. We could even maybe use the red glazed terracotta as a bit of a depth block right there. That should kind of go with the pink. Yeah, it does a little bit. I kind of want to use it a bit more maybe. Okay, maybe that was too much. Let's turn it back a bit. Oh my gosh. What have I created? It's a really ugly tower. I know that. I'm well aware. You don't have to tell me. But I kind of like the roof a little bit, I can't lie. We're going to rework this monstrosity as we go, but I think the next step maybe should be to just fill in the roof a little bit and get that part a bit more complete. Improvement? Question mark? I don't know. But the roof is done. Maybe even add a little bit of a roof window here just to break it up a little bit. You know what, before going any further, let's just have a look in the chest and see what we actually have left to use. We haven't used light grey terracotta, we haven't used the orange blocks. I think that might be it. Because we got the lime and the pink, we got the red glazed terracotta, we got both wood types, we got all the stone, and we've got the both glass types as well. So yeah, it's literally just these three blocks. Which is good in one sense, but difficult in another, because I have no idea how I'm going to get the orange in here too, because I don't want to place it next to the lime. That's going to be so bad on the eyes. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Here's what I'm thinking we kind of do for the walls. So if we use the birch blocks with the slabs and the stairs and the fences and the trapdoors kind of in the foreground, and then we can use the light grey terracotta or potentially the orange blocks in the background. So our doorway is going to look something a little bit like this. How does that look? Not good, if I'm being honest. It looks quite frankly awful, but given our block choices, yeah, it's fine. I was just about to grab some coarse dirt to make a little bit of a flower bed outside of this window, and then I realized the point of this video, we can't even do stuff like that, which is kind of what makes this really difficult. Maybe I should have given myself some extra detail blocks. Potentially we could do that at the end of the video, but for now let's just focus on the main building blocks and get rid of the ones we unfortunately were not given. Having said that, I don't know how helpful coarse dirt would have been in the overall build, so maybe I'm glad I didn't get that one. Okay, the walls are mostly done and they're looking amazing. No, they're really not, but it's okay. What we do have left is this wall over here, and I think this wall is possibly where we could get some of the orange concrete powder in. So when I'm building, if I have a side of a house that looks a bit like this, where we have the roof outline kind of angled up, I like to divide it into two, sort of. something like that. Just placing in some oak blocks kind of in the middle, separating it from top and bottom. So on the bottom, we can do something like this, which is what we've been doing for the other walls. Again, it's not pretty, but it'll do. And then at the top here, we can do something with the orange. I guess like that. It looks very out of place, but honestly, I have no idea where else we're possibly going to add that in. I suppose I could use it on the interior, but I don't think that really counts as a part of it. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with this, to be quite honest. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'll probably do something, just not a full interior, because obviously I don't have stuff like a bed or chests. I only have the main building blocks, but there are a couple of other things we need to tweak out here before we can call this build complete. Oh, I don't like saying that, because right now I don't like how this looks, but honestly, there's not a lot I can do about that. Because it all entirely comes down to the block palette. The shape and all of that other stuff is fine. It's nothing revolutionary, but if I switched out the blocks, it would be a pretty okay house. But with my options here, it's just not, is it? I've added a little bit of a staircase in here, just leading up to the front door, which helps a little bit. Gonna add in a couple of stairs here on the base of our tower, just for that extra little bit of detail. I may even... Hang on a second, let me grab my new favorite block and phase through the wall. We can place some of the red glazed terracotta back there, just so we can get a glimmer of it coming through the hole. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then we can just kind of take a step back and look if there's anything else. Something I would like to add in is a chimney. The trouble is I just don't really have the facilities for that. Usually I'd add in a campfire so we can actually have the chimney smoking at the top, or at least use something with a wall block, but the only wall block we have is stone bricks, which we're already using in the roof, so that might look a little bit weird. Maybe if we just tested it out doing something a little bit like this, we'll have a super windy chimney kind of coming round like that. You know what, if we had a different block that would probably look okay, but the fact it's made out of the same roof material, it just doesn't work. I've added in a couple more windows around here just because it looked a little bit flat, so that maybe slightly improves our rather colourful tower. At this point, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to add in, and honestly, I don't know if there is. I actually kind of like it. It's peculiar, it's strange, it's odd looking, and maybe a little bit too colourful, but also not colourful enough at the same time. It's a weird looking build, and I enjoy it for that. I have done a very quick interior job, as you can see here. Obviously, it's kind of empty looking and unfurnished, but we didn't have the blocks for that. So all I've done is kind of neaten everything out. So if you were to move in here, it's kind of ready to go. We have the main room in the middle here. Very difficult to try and smooth everything out and make it look kind of normal. And then here we have the tower room, which does have a trapdoor to get up to the second level, but obviously we weren't given any ladders to actually get up there. So yeah, there we go everybody. That is the house all done. What do you guys think about the finished product? Be honest with me, let me know your actual thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Obviously, this is just a fun little challenge. I wasn't trying to make the most beautiful house you've ever seen. I think that kind of goes without saying, but just in case, I'm aware this is an ugly house. But still, I'd like to know what you thought about it regardless. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, feel free to try this out for yourself, and if you do, tag me in it somehow. I'd love to see what you guys are able to create with 10 randomly selected blocks. It's not easy. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.